Hello everyone. Today's video is going to mark the start of a 4-part series called
Battle of the Barbs.
In this series, I'm going to have the 4 different elemental damage dealing barbarian builds that I made. That took so many takes to be able to say right. Being the Shaman Barb, the Winter Soldier, Shazam, and the Barbaric build. Each go through the Ubers to see how well they do, and in the end, compare the results. When it comes to the changes made from the build guides to what you'll see in this video, the only changes are that all the builds will be getting the same pre-buffing to keep the opportunity for each build equal going through the Ubers to be able to get a torch, as well as using duress body armor and Gore Rider boots, despite that some were already using said boots in their initial build guides. But this way, it's fair to compare each build from their initial build guides that I made, as they would all have a good base amount of crushing blow and open wounds on top of their elemental damage. I will not be going over the details of the builds in this video, so if you're interested in checking out the builds for yourself, make sure to check out the build guides for all the information that you'll want to know. Link down in the description below. Every build will additionally be kept exactly as it was set as far as the means of attack, so those who were whirlwind builds will stay as such, as do those whom use frenzy. Keep in mind that these builds are not utilized for doing uber runs aside from the crushing blow, open wounds, and deadly strike that they would have to make it easier to whittle down the uber's health aside from utilizing their elemental damage to the fullest. Moving on to the third elemental damage type build guide that I made, this run will be attempted by the Shazam's Lightning Barbarian build. Make sure to check out the prior runs from the Shaman Poison Barbarian, as well as the Winter Soldier Cold Barbarian if you haven't done so to get caught up in the series thus far. Lightning has the ability to have the greatest range of damage of the 4 different elemental damages, from merely 1 to several thousands. So the expectations for what this one will do is anyone's guess compared to the prior 2 runs. Now that both of the builds that utilize the skill Whirlwind have been completed, the Frenzied Barbs will get their chance to be able to show how well they can do, starting with this lightning setup. This will allow for far better overall movement and increased attack speed. However, the disadvantage now lies in Frenzy wanting to swing on anything that's very close by, not just whatever is being clicked on. So the results, much like the wide range for the damage output, will be anyone's guess. However, because he will be using Drax for the life tap proc, this is looking promising to be one of the better runs in this series. Here's a quick glimpse of all of his gear, though again, I won't be going over the finer details, but at least wanted you guys to see how he's currently stacked up for his run for this video. And this is how the mercenary is geared up as well. And lastly, here are all of his additional stats to see how all the numbers stack up, especially for things such as crushing blow and open wounds. With this build potentially having the highest range for damage output out of all the 4 different elemental damage types, will this run shock the series with its results, or only create sparks that can't even compare with static electricity from rubbing your socks on carpet? Any quick little bits of information will be shown on screen as needed to not distract from the run, and I'll go over more details of the run once it is completed. Let's go ahead and get started. This run had such good potential for damage, especially with his dual chance to cast Static Field on striking, from his dual Crescent Moon weapons to be able to get the health down quite a bit right off the bat. However, because the damage range was so vast, this run really shows that all it takes is one hit either way, regarding close to the max on the damage, or close to the minimum, and this run can easily shift whether it's fast or slow. Baal's fight was the only one that lasted longer than a minute, as the other 5's longest time was Diablo at 54 seconds. I counted Diablo's fight into Baal's because Frenzy was still making hits on Baal while focusing on Diablo, leaving Baal's fight to have a much longer time from what it would take if he was to fight him solo from the start. The total runtime from the start of entering the first portal to the defeat of the final Uber and Tristram, had none of the pre-buffing and the resupplying sections been sped up, was 10 minutes and 16 seconds, with 5 minutes and 8 seconds of that time spent fighting all of the Ubers, leaving exactly half of the time of the full run being dedicated to fighting his way to getting his torch. The resource management was around a 9 out of 10, because once life tap proc for either myself or the mercenary to use, the full rejuice weren't heavily being relied on. Even with the potential damage output of whomever we were facing, I used more full rejuice with the mercenary for this run. So overall, I felt they went to a better use as he was a key factor in my damage going further until the eventual demise at Mephisto's hands. As just mentioned, the Merc did die once, just like with the previous run. However, it was again at Mephisto, of which I was happy that he stayed alive as long as he did. And with using Infinity, his Conviction Aura wasn't benefiting me anyway, as at that point, he was being used as a form of crowd control and or just being a diversion. 3 of the elemental damage builds down, with only 1 left to go, the Barbaric Fire build. With as shocking as this run could have been for some, the next one could ignite a lot of conversation about a fire build going through the Ubers. So make sure to check it out in the next video. And if you haven't done so already, go watch the previous runs to get caught up on the series and see how well they stack up against one another so far. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified whenever new videos come out.
Come on. Come on. Come on, then. There you are. There you are.
And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave it a like. Other than that, I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe and take care.